be going through with Ford stock. Just type it in Google and paste enter, and then you'll find this information. And you can see the name of the firm. And if I buy right now, it would be 9.51 US dollars for one stock, and it's a billion market cap, which means it's a big size firm. There's a good dividend yield, big percentage, 6.3%. This is a positive sign because that means that the company has extra money, so it's financially strong. After paying their loans, liabilities, creditors, they still have extra money left. That is, a positive sign, and that money they pay to shareholders as dividend, which is brilliant. And it's founded in 1903. If I just go to Wikipedia, I can just search this box, and easily I can see founded 1903. Now I want to see what the employees think about his firm. I'll just copy this whole part, this name, and I'll type it here, and I'll see Indeed, I'll say reviews. Let's see what employees have to say about it. Now I want to see it's 5,500 reviews, which is a lot of reviews, and it's 4.2 star, which is brilliant. And you can just read through the reviews yourself, the pros and cons and everything. You can see the salaries, the photos, the jobs, the questions. And I want to see in Glassdoor reviews as well what employees have to say about that. I can see that 87 reviews, and it's 4.1 star, which is brilliant. And just read through the reviews yourself, the pros and cons, the interview, the salary, the job, benefits it provides, and the photos of the firm. And I want to go to Yahoo Finance. I want to see the key executives and their salaries. And just click this one, and if you don't know which one to click because there's a lot of different symbols, just go to Google and see the Nasdaq one symbol, which is F. That's the one. Okay, and click the F part, and go to profile, and go to consumer. That's the sector, industry, full-time employees, and I can see there are 5 executives and all of their salaries have been shown. That means it's brilliant, because that means we can build trust with this firm, because it hasn't hidden any salary. It has shown us all the salaries that the key executives are getting. That's brilliant. Let's see if it has any patents. I use Justia Patents website, and just paste the thing here, and I'll just explain you briefly. So I'm not looking at inventors, because these are people who invented but they don't have full rights. I'm just looking for applicant or signee because they have full rights. I can see, so what I'll do is, sometimes the firm has similar names. Now this one, I'll just copy this and search it in the search bar, and it tells me that I'll go to images right now, and it's Ford company. That's fine, because sometimes you need to be careful about the thing. So it has patent in 2012, 2013, 12, 12, and so on. You can see, it has a lot of patents, 1992. But make sure if they have recent patents in 15, 16, 17, 18, 9, 18, because that means they're still innovating. They have patent in 2018. I can see that, because that means they're still innovating 2017. So that's brilliant, because it's a big list. Just go through yourself. The more patents they have, the more stronger the firm is, and the more harder it is to beat them. And they're very good, they have a good place in the market, so that's brilliant. Now let's have a look at macro trend and see if it passes the ratios. Let's go to price ratio and price book ratio, and paste in F, Ford Motor, and I'll explain you briefly. If the price book ratio is less than 1, that means stock is at discount, and it's a cheap stock, undervalued stock. It's brilliant time to buy. If it's more than 1, that means that the stock is expensive. The higher the number goes, the more expensive it gets. Right now it's 1.08. It means if somebody buys right now, they'll be paying 1.08 times more money. So it's a little bit more money. It's a little bit expensive. It's like 0.0, it's like 8% more expensive to buy right now. So but since we have the data since 2006. So it was most expensive in 2011, when it was 16 times more expensive to buy the stock. So in 2011 March, somebody who bought that time, they paid $10, 77 pence to buy something that was only 65 pence worth. It was even $1 less than $1 worth, but they paid nearly $11 for that. So they bought it 16 times more expensive. That's very expensive. And so that's the thing. But right now it's not as expensive as 2011, but it's like 8% more expensive, so it's up to you to decide. Let's go to other ratios and let's check out the current ratio. If the current ratio is less than 1, that means stock is very risky. If it's 1.5 or more than that, that means stock is safe. Let's have a look right now. It's more than 1, but it's still less than 1.5. We are looking at 1.5 or more than that. So the stock is a bit, there are more assets than liabilities if you just see vertically up, but the stock is still a little bit risky. There's not enough margin of safety. We are looking at 1.5 or more than that. Let's look at previous one as well. Has it ever been? Yeah, it's not a safe stock because there's not much margin of safety. Like the assets are a little bit more than liabilities, there's not much margin of safety. But in 2016 it's 7, which means it's a lot more than 1.5. That means that there's a lot of margin of safety, but it's like fluctuation, there's no consistency. We are also looking for consistency. So there's no like recent consistency, so it's like there's not much of a margin of safety, so it's up to you to decide. Let's go to debt equity. I'm looking for zero point 0.5 or less than that for it to be brilliant. This stock shows me if the company is mainly operating on debt or equity. Right now, it's a lot more than zero point 0.5, so it means that it's a dangerous stock in terms of debt. If you see vertically up, there's a lot more debt than equity. It's like nearly 3 times more debt than equity. It's very dangerous. So companies mainly operating on debt, which is not ideal. And if I just see previously as well, it's consistently a lot more than zero point 0.5, and it's very dangerous because it's operating mainly on debt than equity. So it's very dangerous in terms of that. Let's go to return equity. I'm looking for 8% or more than that for it to be ideal. Right now it's less than 8%, and then it's more than 8% consistently. So if I see since 2011 September up till now, it's consistently more than 8%, but just recently it's below 8%. So it's up to you to decide.